Hello, lovely Dylusionists. Come into the studio. Happy 1st of December. Where did November go? Oh my gosh, it was just like, I think that was the fastest November on record. Anyway, welcome to day one of Di's tags, tag of the day, however many we will do. So today's tag, I am going to be using one of the large stars from the boards. If you've just come across this, look for yesterday's video and I show you everything, all the supplies I'm going to be using in all of them, okay? So just go back to the video on November the 30th and you'll see, that was yesterday, you'll see everything I'm using. So I'm using the large star diamond board and I'm using the small star diamond board. You can see the smaller one is a bit more pointy. The large ones are always thicker, so they're great to use. So that's what I'm going to use. And I've decided I'm going to start with the alternative Christmas. So I'm using my Dylusions Bubblegum Pink. Why is that? That's upside down. Oh, the label's upside down. I'm going to use the Bubblegum Pink shimmer paint. Okay, so I'm just going to add some on. You always do thin coats. 2 thin coats are much better than 1 thick one. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the edges. If this was really thick coat and wet, I wouldn't be able to touch it. Now, normally, I did explain this yesterday, I would paint loads of these at once, but I'm just going to do one every day. So, but no, this will be more time consuming, but it means you get to see me go from start to finish every single day. But normally I would paint loads of the shapes, stamp loads of the shapes, do everything like that, okay? So I'm just going to wait a minute. Now that's dry, because that was a nice thin coat, it's dry. So I can go on with a second coat. Okay, I don't need to give the edges 2 coats. I'm just gonna hang on 1 minute and then do the back. Can you see a thin coat dries so quickly? The back is going to look a different colour because it started off grey. The backs of these boards are grey board and the front is white. So you might notice a slight variation, okay? If you were putting a darker colour on and it's harder to go on the white, you would just use the board back to front, okay? So also, because I'm doing this every day, I'm going to be wasting whatever paint is on here every day. So I'm just going to have some tags like this and I'm just going to add on some random, I'm just going to use up what's on here. Can you see? I'll maybe get another one out of it. So maybe let's go up here. I'm just going to use up whatever's on this because otherwise it's just going to be a waste. And I'll come back to these as we go along. Okay? So I've just added those 2 on some black tags and pop them out of the way. Give this a quick wipe. None of these tags take long to make. And again, if you do it production style, it's much better as well, okay? So I'm going to pop this to dry. I'm sorry, I've got a dreadful chesty cough. I'm trying not to cough as much as, but you know. Anyway, I'm going to pop that there to dry. It's practically dry, but I want to emboss on it. And I am going to ultra thick this star, okay? And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go blue. I think pink and blue. Oh, not a lot of blue left in there. I need to go get a new one. Maybe I'll do ice blue then. I was going to do this dark blue, but do you know what? I'll do the ice blue and I'll get a new pot out. I go through these pots so much. Let's do ice blue. See, that will look nice. Gorgeous. So these are my diamond rocks. I have 12 different colours of them. They are a chunkier powder. Can you see them more like a granulated powder? And mine are made in a very special way. Mine are made in the way that I had them made 25 years ago, where they're tumbled. So it's a clear powder, and then it's packed with mica and they're tumbled, so they give a slightly variegated look, which is what I want. Okay, now to get the powder to stick to this, I need to use the Diamond Medium Dabber. I have the Diamond Medium in two different ways. I have it in a pad like this. Oh, that's a bit dirty, isn't it? And I also have it in a dabber. When you're doing this, the dabber is much quicker and you just get better results. You don't drag, you just press it down and you dab. Every now and again you squeeze to get it coming out. And I store these this way up. So I'm not sure if you can see whether the camera will pick up. Can you see where it's glistening? So that is the liquid going on, and you want to make sure that you've covered everywhere. Okay, getting all the nooks and crannies, and then you take the powder and you just throw the powder over the top. Now put your lid on this, pop that out of the way. Excuse me. I use a little scalpel, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up, and then I'm just lightly going to tap it, and that'll tap off any excess. This is just a scrap piece of paper folded in half, and then you can pour this back in. Now you'll notice these are in really wide mouth jars because the number of people who get it everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to pop that over there, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to heat this. Okay, so I'm going to heat it to melt. Now the heat gun, although it's very quiet, because the mic is so near, you might find this a little bit noisy. But what you do is when you turn the gun on, I see people doing this. And all you're doing is warming it, cooling it, warming it, cooling it, warming it, cooling it. You hold the gun steady. When you see part of it start to melt, then you move, okay? And you go round as you melt it, like so. The first coat looks terrible, looks absolutely terrible. If you wanted, in fact, let me see if I've got another. If you wanted a stronger colour, you could paint your star first. I might do both to show you the difference. I've got a star already painted. I was looking for a turquoise, but that's blue. But if you want a stronger colour, you could paint your star first, okay? Now, when you've heated it all round, by the time you get back to here, this has all gone cold. So that's when you'll see me move it round, because I need to reheat it all, okay? And once I've reheated it all, I'm going to throw my second coat on. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm just going to keep it in one position. It's hard for you to see because of the gun, but keep it in one position. It's the first day, so I haven't even warmed up. So it just takes a while to warm up, and then it starts to melt. Now, if I just lift that up to show you, can you see where it's starting to melt there? So, and as it melts, then I slowly move the heat tool around, melting it as I go. Okay. There are lots of videos on YouTube of me doing this a lot. So if you want a closer look, you can find some. Look for the Diamond series. Right, so now it's hot, it's cooled. So I go around and I make it hot everywhere. Okay, because the powder only sticks where it's hot. And then quickly, you don't have a lot of time to muck around. You throw the second coat on the top. Lift it up. The reason I use a scalpel is it can get quite hot. Lift it up and then just give it a tap to get the excess off. The rest, oh, there must have been some water on my mat. Can you see there? Never mind. So this is the second coat. So I'm going to do exactly the same. Now it will melt quicker because it's already warm. So second coat, and you'll see me do this nearly every day. So you can do it along with me. There's nothing like the busiest month of the year, and we stupidly say, yeah, we'll do something every day for you. It's fun though, isn't it? Now the second coat looks better, okay, because it's thicker. So now we're going to put the third coat, and then I am going to repeat it on this one just to give you an idea, because this can be quite pale. The one that I normally paint beforehand, I normally paint lilac. If I'm doing anything like lilac, I'll put laid back lilac on it first. And that's about it, really. The others I just use plain. So this has got this. What's this got on now? My brain's gone. Is that the second coat? This is the third coat, isn't it? So because it's third coat, I'm taking it off here. I'm going to put the lid on there, and I'm going to embed something in it. So I'm going to use a stamp. Oops. From Get Your Rocks On. And what shall I use? I might use hearts. Let's use the hearts. Okay, so you need to get this organised before you melt this last coat. So I'm just going to get a little block. These are from the diary blocks. Put this on here. Now, this is going to be red hot, and this is rubber. So what you need to do is you need to take the diamond medium pad, and I need to protect the rubber with the medium, okay? And then I'm going to melt the third coat. I always do 3 coats. If it's not done very well, you can do a 4th, but I usually always do 3 coats. Even if I'm doing clear, I do 3 coats. Now again, this will go quite quick, and now you should have a really smooth result. Now you can see the Calypso teal is really pale on here because we went straight onto white. And that's another thing though, if you paint underneath, you'll get a different colour, so you'll get two different colourways out of one. They look even different again if you put it on black as well. So make sure it's hot all over. I've already got this, and then I'm just going to, what I do is I gently sit it in, and then I press. If you press really hard to start with, it smooches it out a bit. So you put it in, and then you lift it up, and it'll either come out like so, or sometimes it lifts up with the actual stamp. So can you see where I've debossed into there? So then I'm going to come to my dusts. I'm going to get one of my Fafa brushes, and I think I'm going to put pink back in the inside. So I'm going to get a little bit, and I'm going to go into the actual hearts where it's been debossed down, and oops, and I'm going to add some pink, so you can colour it back in again. A bit much there. Let's have a look. And the heat and the diamond medium will keep that in there. So, okay. So I add it with the Fafa brush, and then I'm going to take the fluffer brush. Just going to press down, and then I'm just going to lightly fluff the excess off. Okay. So I'm going to repeat that with the one that I've already painted in blue. I'm going to do exactly the same again, and then you can see the difference. The reason I didn't paint it to start with in a turquoisey was I thought I was going to be using this colour, and of course I need to get a new pot out. So here we go. Now this time I'm going to put this exactly the same colour on, but of course it'll look darker because it's got a darker base on. The thing is, I use my rocks so much, I go through jar after jar after jar, and I didn't think to check how full these jars were. So first coat, I always count first coat. If you are a dandelion, that's my monthly subscription club, you'll have seen me do this video after video doing this. So first coat takes longer. Can you see the difference in colour? Normally I would put turquoise on, but this one was already done, so it was quicker. Okay, so first coat, make sure it's hot all over. Second coat. I always say to myself, because I do forget how many coats I've put on. Melt the second coat. Just a couple of the colours are a bit more translucent. I think one of the greens, maybe Island Parrot's quite translucent. This blue and Laid Back Lilac. Third coat. Just going to see if here, there is, this one here is, this is London Blue. And this is Calypso Teal. This is going to look more London Blue because it was the paint. Remember, it was painted. It's painted in London Blue to start with. But what you put underneath will make a difference. So, third coat. So now I can put this away. I'm going to put the same stamp so you can see. I'm going to take the diamond medium. I'm going to protect the stamp. I'm going to melt this, melt this last coat, and I'm going to embed the stamp into it. Okay, nice smooth coat. Take the stamp, place it on, then press it. Lift it off. The reason I take it off the paper is sometimes it might stick. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to do exact same colours so you can see. So this is Pink Flamingo. Just going to add some dust into those areas. You can add different colour. I just want to add just this on this one because I've got that lovely pink background. But sometimes I'll add 2 or 3 colours. The heat and the diamond medium pad will hold that in. So just off the excess, stamp that down, and then just, okay. So here is Calypso Teal on its own on a white. And here is Calypso Teal on a blue base. Okay, so I'm going to pop those to one side. I'm just going to wipe here. And we'll go back to the tag. I'm going to sneeze. Goodness me, I'm so sorry. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Right, so here is my tag. So what I'm going to do, whichever one I decide, I'm going to sort of position it like this. I want to put, I think I'm going to put Merry Christmas on here. Now, if I go to this stamp set, just robbing along, this little Merry Christmas there would fit nicely there. Yeah, so I'm going to, this time I'm going to emboss this with the pebbles. Make sure it's the right way up. Okay, so I'm going to get my pad back. This needs to be dry, otherwise the pebbles will go everywhere. And I'm going to use the black pebbles. So this is a really fine powder. So I'm going to ink up the pad. Ink up the stamp, sorry. Make sure it's the right way up. Pop it. There we go. Pop it down. And I'm going to add my black pebbles over the top. Now, can you see where it's stuck a little bit? That might have been fingerprints or something like that. All you need to do is, oops, you just get a little brush and you just brush away any excess. I'm not too particular. I don't mind little bits here and there. You know, I'm not a purist, but where that blob was, I just want to brush that off. So now I'm going to heat emboss that. Okay, you only do this one time because this is normal embossing. So I'm just going to heat set this powder. And it will give a raised glossy line. And again, my pebbles powders are in the nice wide jar. So the number of times I used to get it everywhere trying to put it in a small jar. There we go. Okay, can you see? So it's raised and it's glossy. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so now what am I going to go with? Am I going to go with the light? I think the light needs to go on a blue, so I think I'm going to go with this slightly darker one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that one. So I'm going to get some tape, some double-sided tape. I think I forgot to put this on the supply list. I'm sorry. And if I fit it like that, I've just got a little bit of the back showing, but I still want to see Merry Christmas. I can actually colour that with a blue paint pen later. So let me just take a pencil. This will do. And where I want to position it, I just want to draw on the back so I know where I'm going to put the tape. Okay, so I'm going to add, I always get this upside down. Yeah, add some tape there. You don't need to absolutely cover it with tape because, you know, you're not taking it whitewater rafting or anything like that. Just add some tape on, and then I am going to position it like so. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, so this now can go in my ready done. Actually, I'll put some stickles in as well. I'm going to take a black, I forgot to put this on the list as well. If I can find one that's got some in. What's happened? Why, you know, this is a Sakura black glaze pen, and it sort of mimics this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some lines. We're starting off simple. Just going to put some lines round this. Now with these pens, don't write too quick because again you want this slightly raised image. Can you see? And if your surface is extremely porous, you'll maybe have to go over it again. Okay, and then I'm just going to put some little dots between. So I've got like stitches going round. I love to frame things and I love to doodle. So whoops. It just takes a little while to dry because it's slightly raised. So I'm just going to, I'll do the top bit last, then I know where to hold it. Oops. There we go. And then I also like to outline the star. Okay, so just leave it a minute for that to dry. Oh, I was going to do the dots up here. Just going to leave it a minute for it to dry. And then I have an assortment of ribbons. I have absolutely loads. But when I thought I was going to do it in the darker blue, I pulled out this like chiffony and this sort of pink. Oops. You can, oh, what's happening? Why has this come off there? You can use Tim's, it's coming apart from a wrong position. I think I'm going to have to cut this off. Let me just cut it. Come on, Diane, just cut it. Right, that'll do. Let's wind that back on. So I went with a darker blue because I was originally going to use the London blue. But I think it'll still work. Yeah, still work. So sometimes I use one ribbon. I think these two will look nice. And now it depends how long this is depends what you're going to do with it. I'm going to probably tie this on a present. So I want it to be about there. So I'm just going to cut it on a slant like so. And then I like to fold it in half, push it through from the back. Oops. Push it through from the back and push these ends through the loop at the front, okay? Got it stuck to my jumper. Okay, and then you can have it like this, and you can either then tape it onto something, or there's enough ribbon here that you can, once you've got your present, you can tie this through the ribbon of your present. Do you see what I mean? So, so the back of it, I will probably, oh, actually, let's colour this. There's a little bit of extra tape there. Let me just, I didn't follow my pencil lines, did I? There we go. Now let's get a blue. You could do blue or pink. I'm going to do blue because I've got blue on the front. And I am just going to colour this, the back, the bit that you can see. You could use paint if you wanted. You could have painted the back of the actual shape, but I just normally do a little like this. And then I'm going to do a running stitch around here because I just like to have things finished off. Sometimes I'll put some collage words on the back. I could write them, you know, to and from. Merry Christmas 2024, anything like that. Again, I could have stamped on the back if I'd have wanted to. I'm going to write on the back with a black Posca. That'll do. Okay. Merry Christmas. I'm going to put 2024 and a heart. Okay, but you could put a name on the back or anything like that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my Dylusion stickles and I am going to not in everything. I'm not a massive glittery person, so I'm just going to do it in a few. I'm going to fill in some of these hearts. I think that will do. And I might put a little bit of stickles on there. And that's it. There is today's December the 1st tag. Okay? So we have the pink board, pink large star board. We've coloured in the bubblegum pink shimmer. This was already painted blue, and I added Calypso teal rocks on it. I put the pink flamingo dust inside. I went with a glaze. I embossed this with my black pebbles. This is a glaze pen all the way around. I've added some stickles, which is always the last thing you do because it takes a while. I've doodled on the back and I've written Merry Christmas 2024 and added some ribbon. So there we go. December the 1st. See you tomorrow. Bye.